Good morning, comic book fans. It's Rusty again with Collector Auctions, and I'm in the car again heading to Third Eye Comics in Annapolis, Maryland for another new comic book day. Well, this is going to be a big comic book day for me because unfortunately, somehow I ended up missing sending in for my monthly order a couple months ago with M&M Comics. As you know, I pre-order most of my new comics through this subscription service, and I don't know what I was doing, but I completely slept on sending in the order. So I'm having to be really diligent right now about going to New Comic Book Day and picking up the books that I failed to order. And this week is a big week. There is a ton of books on that order that I should have ordered, but I didn't. So I'm going to be picking up a lot of things today, more than I normally do on a New Comic Book Day. So I'm heading down, and I'm trying to be there one of the first 5 people in because, as I've talked about recently, I just joined an elite club with Third Eye Comics. It's called the Wednesday Warrior Elite. It's a group of 300 people, a club that gives you all kinds of benefits. And hopefully you guys will check out the video where I talked about that in the previous New Comic Book Day video. It gives you all kinds of different benefits. But one of those things is for New Comic Book Day, if you are one of the first 5 people in line and part of this club, you do get one of the fresh, what do they call it? They call it the Certified Cool Comics. And we'll do that. Definitely just for a free comic book. I'd show up a few minutes early. So I'm going to head down, get in line, and hopefully get a new comic book, and I will pick up a lot of new comic books. That's for sure. So stay tuned. I will do a little bit of footage, and then I will be right back, and then I'll head home, and then we'll do a comic book reveal. All right, everybody, I'm back in the car. I had a great time at New Comic Book Day here at Third Eye Comics in Annapolis, Maryland. A lot of new comics came out today that I hadn't pre-ordered. And I'll tell you something, this is why I pre-order these comics, new comics like this from my subscription service with M&M Comics, because 35% discount on most books, sometimes 50%, depending on if they're trying to really push a book. And those savings are tremendous with as expensive as comic books are these days. This was a big batch of books, and this was very expensive, even with the little bit of a discount I got from having a pull box here at Third Eye Comics, and got some great books. But this is why I pre-order, just to save some money, seriously. So let me get home and I will show off everything that I picked up here from New Comic Book Day.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
All right, everybody, I got back home. I bagged and boarded all the comics so we can do the presentation now. I just want to reemphasize the fact that this is not a typical New Comic Book Day for me. Normally, I don't buy this many new comics because generally every month I put in a pre-order with M&M Comics. It's somewhere between 2 and 3 months out. When I pre-order these things, I do that to save a lot of money, usually 35% on just about every book, and sometimes even more than that, 50%. So this is the way I normally buy new comics and save a lot of money. This, again, was very expensive to try to catch all the books that I ended up missing that I normally would have pre-ordered. And so this is a very atypical day for me for a New Comic Book Day. And we've got a lot of books here, so let's just get right into it. We're going to start with Marvel. And what did I pick up? I did pick up kind of getting into this new Bloodline storyline, and it is crossing over into everything. This, and then it has its own titles as well. This is Bloodline Dracula. And I haven't done a lot of research on all the books. I can't tell you the artists or anything like that, but I am kind of getting into this Bloodline storyline across the titles. So that's why I'm going to be picking up some different titles along the way here. So I picked that up. I did pick up the Doctor Strange, the regular issue of Doctor Strange. It's part of the Blood Hunt right there. And although this wasn't New Comic Book this week, this was last week. I just didn't think about it when I was there. I did pick up the Blood Hunt Moon Knight number 5. This is not a title that I normally would be getting, just like the Doctor Strange, but I want to see how they're crossing over into these titles. And once I get a chance to read these a little bit, we'll see if I continue picking up some of these side titles like this, or will I just stick with the main Bloodline book itself? We'll have to see. Oh, and I had one other Bloodline, and it was the Strange Academy Bloodline. I'll be interesting to see how this goes in here. Strange Academy was such a great book, but you did have Scotty Young writing that, and he's not writing this, so we'll have to see if we've got any of the same magic with this or not. Be interesting to see. Now, for the rest of Marvel, there were things I missed, and then there's things I always pick up generally on New Comic Book Day, which is sometimes the variant covers. Now, I have stopped buying the X-Men for the most part, but I have gone in and picked up some really cool covers, variant covers, like this for X-Men Forever number 3. You've got the Dark Phoenix in sort of the Venom black costume. I thought that was pretty cool. And I think this is the same title, although it's always kind of hard to tell. They did the homage to the Disney homage to X-Men 58 by Neil Adams, and that's pretty cool seeing Donald as Havoc right there. Actually, it's not too bad. That's not too bad. Let me put these down. A lot of books this week. A lot of books. This was not a cheap run. Oh, I did miss this on the Blood Hunt. I did pick up the new title, Blood Hunters. Got Man Wolf on there. That's awesome. We got Hawkeye. So can't go wrong with that. Title-wise, what did I say? I dropped X-Men, but I did pick up the Wolverine number 49. I like this U cover right here in the adamantium armor. I don't know if I really care for the armor, but it's kind of interesting. I like the drawing on that. He's going to be in Baltimore for Baltimore Comic-Con. This is something I may take just to get signed. He's got so many great books out there, but I don't know if this is going to rise to the top. I'll have to go see if I'll pull some of the other titles that I've really liked as well. Giant Size X-Men number 1, this new version, I bought it simply because it is a beautiful, beautiful Brian Hitch cover right here. He's been doing a lot of covers for Marvel recently, and I'm always a sucker for Brian Hitch artwork. I just got to meet him for the very first time up in Philadelphia at the Fan Expo, and I was so excited because I was able to take some of my original art from the Ultimates and Ultimates 2 stories from the early 2000s. and to get him to sign that, as well as some of his new stuff that he was working on with the Ghost Machine universe properties like Redcoat. And the only other X-Men title I did buy was X-Men 97. This is issue number 1, but it is the second printing, but it is the animation cover right there. All right, let's put those down. As I said, lots of books this week. This right here is on my regular pull list from Third Eye, the regular issue of Spider-Man, and it is also part of that Blood Hunt storyline. Again, I'll take a look at this art, and Spider-Man looks okay by John Romita Jr., but these vampires up here, I don't know. I'm just not digging it. And now I'm starting to really question whether is it the Scott Hanna inks or is it the coloring? I think I'm going to start with the coloring that I'm just not digging and then go to the inks. I think I'm going to work backwards. Usually I've been very critical recently of John Romita Jr., but part of me is thinking the inks are just not. I think he's going to need a different inker than Scott Hanna. I think it would be interesting to see this done by a different inker. Just a random thought right there. I did pick up this because I'm enjoying it. J.D. DeMatteis is writing this. This is a kind of a retro story, Shadow of the Green Goblin. I think it's a retro story, right? A lot of times on these small issue runs like this, I will actually just save some of these and read them in one entire setting instead of reading them monthly like you do traditionally with most comic books. But this one I've been saving, but I have a lot of faith that Matteis stories are always really good, much like a lot of those writers from the 70s and 80s who come back and write new stories are very good. Avengers number 14, again, part of that Blood Hunt storyline. I'd pick this up anyway. I'm always an Avengers fan, so can't go wrong with that. Well, yes, I actually can go wrong with that, but for my collection, it's an ongoing thing. I've collected Avengers almost religiously since the 1980. I mean, I had issues before that, but collecting religiously since about 1980. Captain America number 9. Again, I've enjoyed the story in here, but I have not enjoyed the art quite as much. It's okay. Not my cup of tea. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not my cup of tea. All right, let's put those down. And I've got one more Marvel book, but we'll come back to that. Let's go over DC a little bit. I did pick up this. The shiny cover got me. It was the Superman. I think it was the House of Brainiac. I think that's what it is. But the shiny cover was really neat. That's a beautiful piece of artwork right there. So I picked that up. That was a spur of the moment. I wasn't even on my radar kind of thing. So I picked that up. I did pick up the first issue of Boy Wonder. And that's more out of a sense of picking up number ones, see where they go. These are titles that I probably will not continue with unless I enjoy the reading. I did enjoy the last Robin run where Damian is in some sort of, he was in that tournament with the League of Assassins, and that was interesting for a while, but it kind of drug on. But this right here, I will at least give this a real decent read and see if I enjoy that. And I did pick up the latest issue of Batman, just a regular cover on that. I've been continuing with this title. I'm not really sure. I kind of enjoy this artwork, though. This is, who is this? So I'm not sure who's doing the art. Yeah, it's Jimenez. What am I thinking? It's Jimenez. I still enjoy his artwork. So those were the DC books that I picked up, and I actually have another DC book as well. We'll come back to that because those are in that one Marvel issue are in its own category. All right, independents were big this week, and some of these were on my list, some of them were not. Let's just start with the one that was on my list, and I picked up Geiger number 2. This is the second issue in the new Ghost Machine universe of the current run on Geiger. As I said before, I had just come back from Fan Expo, where I was able to get autographs from the majority of the Ghost Machine creators that were up there. The Brian Hitches, Jeff Johns, Gary Frank, Peter Tomasi. Who was not there, though, however, was Gary Frank. Gary Frank was not there. That would have been nice. Brad Anderson, the colorist, was there. Robert Lee was there. He's the letterer, but honestly, I didn't get it. I was running out of money to get every autograph, so I didn't get the letter on these books. This is a book that I've talked about before. It is my favorite comic for the last 20 years. It is always the first comic that I stop when I'm opening up an order, a monthly order from M&M Comics. I open it up, and when I get to this book, I just stop, put everything down, and I read the book. That's not true about any other book except for this book right here, and it's constantly every month that it comes out. And it's Usagi Yojimbo. This is issue number 2 of 5, where they're doing a storyline called The Crow. It's nice to see Usagi back with Dark Horse. They was with Dark Horse for so many years. It's kind of nice to see that back again. But this is just a regular cover, so pick that up. I've already read this, of course. Haven't read anything else that I picked up yet, but before I did the video, I sat down and read this right here. I did pick up issue number 1 of the Energon Universe, and I don't know, it was one of those things. This is not my cup of tea, but I kind of just picked it up because it was the number 1, and I had missed so much stuff this week. So there were a few other number 1s that came out this week that I just like, okay, just get the number 1, be done with it. And that was the same with this right here, Crocodile Black. I had no idea what this was, but I had seen on another channel where they were talking about this. It's pretty cool. The author on this, the writer, is Philip Kennedy Johnson, and one of the reasons I did pick this up is that he is going to be at Third Eye Comics in the next few days for a signing. And I didn't even realize that they had another signing with somebody. And so I signed up. I'm part of, as you see in my shirt right here, the Wednesday Warrior Elite. And I joined that club. I've talked about it on the channel already today. I joined this club completely so I could get into the VIP line at any public signing that Third Eye does for any creator. And normally the public signing part of it is free, but if you want to be in the VIP group first and have that ability to get more books than just the couple that the public are supposed to get signed, it gives you that allowance. But the main thing for me is it gets you in first in that first group. And I usually go in, I have to do that on the Saturdays when they do these signings. I still have to work later that afternoon, and I don't have a lot of time. If I had to stand in the public line and wait for the VIPs to go through and then be in that public line, it would push me getting to work on time. So when I join this club, it gets you just have to let them know that you're going to be coming to the signing, sign up and be on the VIP list, but it gives you all the rights and privileges it does as if you bought an individual VIP package for each and every artist. So that's why I joined this club mostly, is that I can go to every signing now for the lifetime of Third Eye Comics and be able to get into those VIP lines without paying any additional fees. So Phil Kennedy Johnson is going to be there. I'm going to get this signed. I'm going to see if I can find some of the recent Hulk issues. I will try. I may already have had him in the Marvel book, because I know when a couple years ago, he was doing Marvel's Aliens, I think. And I think I might have already gotten him down at Heroes Con, but I'll have to check my Marvel book, my 50 years of Marvel, and see if he's already in there or not. But this I picked up at that signing, I picked that up for the signing, rather. Continuing, I did pick up the first issue from Valiant Comics, The Valiants. Okay, let's put those down. And I picked up this. Scotty Young is one of my favorite creators, but I don't like every kid's cover he does, the young, childlike drawing of the characters. There's some that are really good, and there's some that I don't really like. But what I found is with Scotty Young is that his writing on different titles is really good, and I've enjoyed other books like, obviously, Strange Academy. I've enjoyed, was it Me You Love in the Dark? I think I loved that one. And I think this is the same artist on that, is Ain't No Grave. So I picked up a copy of that, and I may have to take this down to Charlotte in a month for Heroes Con to get Scotty Young to sign that as well. And that's one of the things, when he was at Third Eye Comics a year or so ago, I talked to him about it, and I said, as much as I liked the drawings, I said, I really enjoy your writing, and he seemed very appreciative of that. And the only other book I picked up that was brand new, and I'll get to two other books here at the end, And it wasn't on the list, but I went ahead and picked it up as a number 1. It was Turtles, Black, White, and Green. And there was a lot of variant titles, variant covers for a lot of these issues. I didn't go down those rabbit holes. I just picked up usually just cover A's on most of these. The X-Men were different just because I was picking those up for those variant covers. And then the last things that I picked up, how could I go a week without picking up a facsimile or two? And for DC, I picked up this issue of Our Army at War. This is number 81. My guess is this is the first appearance of Sergeant Rock. And then I picked up, this was not new, but this was already on the stands, and I kind of wanted, I may take this to Charlotte. I don't have a really 9.6, 9.8 candidate raw of this issue to get signed by Chris Claremont, but one of the things I do like to do is get some of these top creators to sign the facsimiles, and I picked up an issue, a really nice copy of X-Men 130. It's a facsimile of that issue, and it is the first appearance, reprinting the first appearance of Dazzler, and of course that's very hot these days. And I thought this would be kind of cool to take down to Charlotte, maybe get Chris Claremont to sign this as well. But guys, that is it. Hope you enjoyed this new comic book day, and you get to see some of the benefits of being a Wednesday Warrior Elite. The only book in here, actually, let's go back to the benefit of going to New Comic Book Day. And what was the benefit? Well, being one of the first 5 people in line and being part of this club got you the Certified Cool Book of the Week for free. That was the only real benefit to this New Comic Book Day. The real benefit's going to be when I go to the signing coming up in the next few days. But I did get this book for free. So 1 book for free, but the way I look at it, if I do this each and every week and can be in one of those first 5 walking in, honestly, you do this every year, for a year, every Wednesday, practically, you're going to pay for this membership fee itself. If I go to 2 signings, like I said for the Philip Kennedy Johnson, if I do 1 more signing, the club's already going to be paid off. So definitely some real nice benefits to being part of this club. Anyway, if you have any questions about that, definitely just reach out to me at collectorauctions@yahoo.com and I can answer them for you, or you can leave a comment in the comment section below. But that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed everything. If you did enjoy today's content, you want to see more shows like this, definitely hit that like, slap the subscribe, and click on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the episodes that I put out each and every week, Mondays and Fridays at 10 a.m. All right, guys, I've had a great day. Hope you enjoyed these books, and I will talk to you soon. Take care, and remember, every comic has a story.